Football has a way of delivering its own justice, and what happened at Cleveland Browns practice this week proves the universe has a sense of timing that would make Hollywood screenwriters jealous. Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback who'd been publicly questioning the Browns' commitment to him as their starter, suffered a devastating season-ending injury during what should have been a routine Tuesday practice session. No contact, no warning, just a catastrophic biomechanical failure that medical staff immediately recognized as career-threatening. Within minutes, the quarterback controversy that had divided Cleveland's locker room and dominated headlines for weeks was over, not through coaching decisions or front office politics, but through what fans are calling the most perfectly timed karmic intervention in NFL history. This isn't just another injury report. This is the story of how the football gods apparently decided to handle business themselves when human decision-makers couldn't, or wouldn't, make the call everyone saw coming. The quarterback battle that had been tearing Cleveland apart started months ago when the Browns drafted Shedeur, despite already having Gabriel on the roster. Owner Jimmy Haslam made no secret of his preference for the Hall of Famer's son, while the coaching staff seemed hesitant to fully commit to the rookie. Gabriel, sensing the writing on the wall, began making public comments about deserving the starting job and questioning the team's commitment to developing him. His frustration boiled over in recent weeks, with multiple sources describing him as increasingly difficult to work with in team meetings and practice sessions. Veterans were growing tired of the drama. Offensive coordinators were struggling to game plan around two completely different quarterback styles. The organization was stuck in paralysis, afraid to make a decision that would inevitably create controversy. Gabriel continued pushing harder for clarity, while Sanders maintained complete professionalism, waiting for his opportunity without saying a word publicly about the situation. Then Tuesday happened, and everything changed in an instant that will haunt Gabriel for the rest of his life. Multiple witnesses describe the scene unfolding like something from a nightmare. Standard 7-on-7 drill. Nothing unusual about the setup. Gabriel took the snap, executed his normal 5-step drop, and planted his right foot to deliver a routine out route to the sideline. That's when his knee gave way completely. No defender within 10 feet. No awkward contact or collision. Just pure biomechanical failure at the absolute worst possible moment. The sound was described by one veteran lineman as something you never want to hear on a football field. Practice stopped immediately. Medical staff rushed onto the field, and within seconds, everyone watching knew this wasn't a minor injury. Gabriel writhed on the turf, clutching his knee, while teammates formed a protective circle around him. But here's where the story takes its most fascinating turn. Shedeur was standing on the sideline, waiting for his rep in the drill rotation, watching everything unfold. Multiple sources describe him as completely stoic during the chaos. No visible emotion, no celebration, nothing that could be interpreted as inappropriate. Pure professionalism in a moment that essentially handed him everything he'd been waiting for. However, what happened next sent ripples through the organization within hours. After Gabriel was carted off the field and practice was suspended, Sanders reportedly approached the quarterback coach and said quietly, "Everything happens for a reason." That comment spread through the Browns facility like wildfire, with different people interpreting it completely different ways. Some saw it as profound spiritual understanding from a young man raised in competitive athletics. Others viewed it as a calculated response from someone who understood exactly what Gabriel's injury meant for his own career trajectory. The medical diagnosis delivered behind closed doors was devastating. Multiple ligament tears, extensive structural damage, and a rehabilitation timeline that optimistically extends beyond 12 months. Worse, specialists consulted privately suggest that this specific injury pattern is particularly concerning for quarterback positions, where biomechanical precision is absolutely critical. Gabriel's career isn't just paused. It might be fundamentally altered forever. Head coach Kevin Stefanski faced an impossible media situation following practice. How do you express appropriate sympathy for a severely injured player while simultaneously acknowledging that his misfortune has solved your biggest organizational problem? His carefully crafted statement walked that tightrope perfectly, offering support for Gabriel's rehabilitation, while making it crystal clear that Sanders was now unquestionably the starter. No interim designation, no continued competition. The Gabriel chapter was closed, and the Sanders era had officially begun. The fan reaction was immediate and brutal in its honesty. Within minutes of the injury news breaking, Justice for Shedeur was trending nationally on social media. Cleveland supporters overwhelmingly embraced the karma narrative, with comments like, "Gabriel acted bigger than the team," "Universe handled business," and "Sometimes the football gods make decisions that coaches won't." The sentiment was ruthlessly consistent across Brown's social media. Gabriel had received exactly what the universe determined he deserved after his perceived entitlement and unprofessional behavior. But the real story isn't just about cosmic justice. It's about how quickly an entire organization pivoted when forced clarity replaced weeks of indecision. Within hours of Gabriel's injury confirmation, offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt was already modifying the playbook, reinstalling concepts specifically designed around Sanders' exceptional mobility and arm talent. Plays that had been shelved due to Gabriel's limitations were suddenly back in the game plan. The entire offensive identity was shifting overnight. Veterans who had been quietly frustrated with Gabriel's complaints immediately rallied around Sanders. One receiver told teammates privately, "Finally, the playbook matches our quarterback's strengths instead of trying to compromise between two completely different players." The chemistry throughout the offensive meeting rooms improved instantly, with players no longer having to hedge their preparation between competing quarterback styles. Meanwhile, Sanders handled his sudden promotion with the kind of maturity that reminded everyone why his father is in the Hall of Fame. His public statement balanced appropriate sympathy for Gabriel with professional readiness to embrace the opportunity. But privately, sources close to the quarterback revealed he immediately began adjusting his entire lifestyle. Self-imposed curfew, despite no team requirement. Social activities completely eliminated. Nutrition protocol enhanced dramatically. Everything reflecting professional maturity that transcended his chronological age. The timing couldn't be more perfect for testing Sanders' readiness because Cleveland's next game is against the Baltimore Ravens, a championship-caliber defense led by coordinator Mike Macdonald, who was already salivating at the prospect of facing a rookie quarterback in his first NFL start. Ravens defensive players were diplomatically respectful in public comments, but privately described the situation as an early Christmas gift. All-pro cornerback Marlon Humphrey's was particularly telling. "Respect the injury situation completely. But professionally speaking, preparation changes dramatically when you're facing a rookie quarterback rather than an established starter." Baltimore's defensive game plan was immediately scrapped and rebuilt around exploiting Sanders' inexperience. Blitz packages increased significantly. Coverage disguises multiplied throughout their preparation. The Ravens' defensive meeting rooms buzzed with predatory excitement about facing a quarterback with zero regular season experience, regardless of his exceptional physical talents. But Sanders wasn't backing down from the challenge. He immediately reached out to Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, his opponent for Sunday, seeking guidance about handling unprecedented pressure and media attention. That conversation reportedly lasted hours, covering everything from media management to leadership development, with Jackson emphasizing the importance of maintaining strict routines regardless of external chaos. It was professional courtesy that transcended competitive rivalry, giving Sanders invaluable insight that most rookies learn painfully through experience. The Browns organization mobilized completely around supporting their new starter. Defensive players cranked up practice intensity, implementing sophisticated coverage disguises and complex blitz packages to prepare Sanders for what Baltimore would throw at him. Veterans stayed after practice for additional timing work with receivers. The offensive line conducted extra protection meetings to ensure everyone understood Sanders' preferences and mobility patterns. Even the business side of the organization shifted overnight. Season ticket demand exploded following Sanders' confirmation as starter. Jersey sales broke single-day records. Corporate partnership inquiries flooded the front office. Marketing campaigns were restructured to feature the rookie quarterback prominently. The economic engine that drives professional football was accelerating dramatically, powered by the compelling narrative of opportunity arising from unfortunate circumstances. For Gabriel, the emotional devastation extends far beyond physical rehabilitation. Sources close to the quarterback describe him as inconsolable, recognizing that his opportunity was stolen by cruel fate rather than performance evaluation. His representation is exploring every possible avenue: second opinions, specialized treatments, hardship exemptions. But nothing changes the fundamental reality. His season is lost, his opportunity vanished, and his future uncertain in ways that extend far beyond football. The medical professionals examining Gabriel's injury are particularly concerned about long-term implications. This isn't just about missing one season. The specific structural damage could affect his biomechanics permanently. Quarterback positions require precision footwork and mechanical consistency that may never fully return after this type of injury. Career trajectory altered permanently through a single non-contact moment during routine practice. As Sunday's Ravens game approaches, Sanders faces the kind of baptism by fire that separates future stars from cautionary tales. Baltimore's defense presents every challenge a rookie quarterback fears most: disguised coverages, exotic blitz packages, elite secondary play, and coaching that exploits every hesitation or mechanical flaw. The spotlight will be blinding, the pressure unprecedented, and the margin for error virtually non-existent. Yet Sanders seems to thrive under exactly these circumstances. Practice performance has elevated dramatically since receiving starter confirmation. Completion percentages skyrocketing. Decision-making accelerating. Leadership presence becoming more apparent daily. One defensive back admitted privately, "Kid's different when he knows the job is completely his." Like a switch flipped immediately. The broader implications extend far beyond Cleveland's quarterback situation. Gabriel's injury reframes the entire organizational approach to the position, forcing front office executives to completely restructure their long-term planning around Sanders rather than managing competition between two players. Draft capital allocation, free agency priorities, salary cap projections. Everything requires comprehensive reassessment following a single practice incident. This story resonates because it touches something fundamental about sports and life. Sometimes the universe delivers resolutions that human decision-makers struggle to implement themselves. Gabriel's frustration was understandable, but his public complaints created unnecessary organizational tension. Sanders demonstrated patience and professionalism while waiting for his opportunity. When that opportunity arrived through unfortunate circumstances, he was completely prepared to seize it. The karma narrative that fans have embraced so enthusiastically isn't really about celebrating Gabriel's injury. It's about recognizing that professional sports, like life, has a way of rewarding preparation, patience, and professionalism, while humbling those who fight against organizational direction. Sanders earned his opportunity through consistent excellence and mature handling of a difficult situation. Gabriel's injury simply accelerated a timeline that many observers believed was inevitable anyway. Whether Sanders succeeds or struggles against Baltimore's elite defense, this moment represents a defining chapter in both players' careers. For Gabriel, it's a devastating setback that may alter his professional trajectory permanently. For Sanders, it's the opportunity he's prepared for his entire life, arriving through circumstances nobody would have chosen, but everyone must now navigate. The football gods work in mysterious ways, but their timing on Tuesday afternoon in Cleveland was absolutely perfect. Sometimes justice arrives exactly when it's needed most, even if the delivery method breaks your heart while it sets everything right. Sanders' rise was shocking, but the real NFL cover-up was still ahead, and that story is right here.